Wow, what an absolute smoking lick. That's just killer. Scott Hamilton on a tune called Blue Wells. Now, I'm Randy Hunter from beginningsax.com and randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. Be sure to visit my websites. Now, I remember when I first heard Scott Hamilton, it would have been in the 80s, and I didn't hear him live, but I remember me and the guys I was hanging with, the other sax players, and just the other musicians that were looking to learn to play this music. We were all digging, guys like Michael Brecker at that point in time. Of course, I have my favorites that I've always listened to. I've told you about some of the guys that I liked before. But, we're digging into Michael Brecker and checking out all of this modern sounding music. And then Scott Hamilton comes along, and I guess he really kind of started making appearances in the 70s. He's not a whole lot older than I am. I think he was born in the mid 50s, and I'm an early 60s model myself. So anyway, we get turned on to Scott Hamilton, and it's just like kind of a breath of a different kind of air. I don't want to say a fresh air, because Scott Hamilton really kind of brought some of the stuff from the older guys, some of the swing era and bop era playing back. He's of course, you hear influences anywhere from Sonny Stitt, Lester Young, Coleman Hawkins, Dexter, Charlie Parker influenced everybody, So you really hear all of these influences in Scott Hamilton's playing, but you don't really hear the modern sounds, which at the time I didn't really know quite what to think about it, but I do know that I dug his playing, and I've really grown to dig his playing more and more through the decades. I love Scott Hamilton's playing. In fact, I recently did one of my quick tunes lessons, not on a Scott Hamilton's version, but it was certainly influenced by the way he played, and it was on a tune called "On the Street Where You Live." I love the version of that tune. You might check that out. And so in doing research to find a lick for this series, a motif for the series, I listened to a number of different things, and, I heard some of the medium tempo blues, and I loved them. I mean, Scott Hamilton's just playing blues motif after blues motif. He did an album with Gene Harris, and I think this tune may actually be on that album. But, gosh, I can't think of the name of the tune. I'll put it in the caption so that you can read it. But one that I was really seriously thinking about putting in this series, but I couldn't decide on which lick. I mean, just lick after lick, motif after motif. Such a melodic player, but he also, so like I said, he combines a lot of swing style with bop style. To our lick. Now, it's a blistering tempo. I mean, this tempo that he's playing at is upwards of 280 per minute, so I checked it out on the metronome, and I played it pretty close to that in the demonstration right up front. I played two versions of it. I played it a little slower, and then I played it pretty close to where he plays it. I don't know, maybe I wasn't quite there, but I was pretty close to the tempo. But the lick... I mean, even at that fast tempo, he's styling it. He's putting a lot of style in it. Now, I may have swung it a little bit more right there than it swings at the fast tempo. At the fast tempo, it's a little more even. And so what I'm noticing about this lick is we're really hearing... And then you've got the ghosted notes. Ba-da-da-da-da. So it's all kind of that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Bop players have a tendency, and just guys playing fast have a tendency to add these little notes in. There I'm going back and forth between a C and just going chromatically up. C, E flat, C, E, C, F, C, F sharp, C, G, C, F sharp, C, F. So that might be a little technique that you might practice to kind of get the feel of. So you hear the notes that are pronounced are the chromatic notes. So that might be a little technique that you might practice to sort of get the feel for what's going on here. da 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 da, and then. Now, my natural inclination would be to play to tongue that G and to play it like an eighth note followed by 2/16 notes, but I'm listening to him and I'm really hearing more of a triplet and a slurred smoothness to it. So I recorded this a couple of times before I really decided on how I wanted to play it for you guys. And so at first I played it the way I would typically play it. And I listen back, and that's not really what I'm hearing Scott Hamilton do. I'm really hearing more of a slurred sound, a smoother approach, maybe more of a Stan Getz influence kind of sound. And I don't know if Stan was one of his influences or not, but I certainly hear certainly a smoother sound like that. So now this lick is at, I should have mentioned earlier, but it's at 1 minute and 30 seconds into the tune called Blue Wells. And he just stays on the one chord. So it's you know, until the very last note. So we're going up that, that little chromatic, bluesy kind of sound. And it's not really chromatic. C, E flat, E, C, D sharp, E. I've got it written as a D sharp. And then he answers it. And then this lick. That's all blues scale. And it lands on the root of the 4 chord, which is in the blues scale. So we've got this thing that's kind of outlining the major third going up, or is targeting that major third. There's our major third. It's kind of the target of the line, and then it's restated. Major third very much, and then our descending portion of the lick. Comes down the blues scale. So it's a great call and response, question and answer kind of statement. All right, so let's check it out again. Listen to it. I'll play it for you slowly and up to tempo again so you can check it out. All right, here goes.